Good day, and welcome back to my channel. So, this video is going to be a little bit different from my usual kind of videos where I literally just play games and just enjoy them and give you my impressions as I'm going. This video, I'm hoping, turns into a bit of a problem solving video, because I've come across a bit of a problem with this tonight. Because as for anybody that's played Expeditions, you'll know that missions on this game unlock in a gradual fashion, and the game dictates what missions unlock. You don't get to choose, the game chooses. So for example, when I finished that breaking Brad mission there, the very next mission that opened wasn't under the Grand Canyon here. As you can see, I've got some that are complete, but I've still got 3 there that are locked, and I've got 2 down here that are locked, and I've also got the unexpected find that's still locked. So I was thinking, okay, where's my next mission that's unlocked? Is it in the Snowrunner Desert? No, every single one of them is locked as well. And it's not in... Oh, I've got one there. I've actually got one there, but I didn't spot that initially. What I spotted was this one. No more shaking. Which is to simply get a vehicle or a truck with a seismic vibrator attached and go and to some place, you know, go and survey the area with that truck. Now, where this mission differed from all the other expeditions that I've done this, you know, thus far in the game, is that this mission required you to travel through a gateway to get to another map, and that map that it wants me to go to, I haven't got an outpost on yet, which presented a bit of a problem, because I took a truck through the gateway to Waweep Bay, let's say. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologise, but Waweep Bay, I took the truck through the gateway to get to Waweep Bay, and once in Waweep Bay, I've got no outpost, so I can't build any camp upgrades to give myself another fresh stash of supplies, like fuel, repair parts, etc., service parts and so on. Once you go through the gateway, you're in the map, and you've just got to venture forth and try and get to the point where you do and carry out the main requirements of the mission. Now, I did that, and I went through with the truck, and when I got through there, I navigated a little bit of tricky terrain whilst trying to work out which way I was going to go, what was the best route to take, etc., etc., and I got myself a little bit unstuck in terms of having very, very little in the way of fuel. In fact, I was running on fumes. But I couldn't see a way of then saying, well, that's okay, because on the other map, before I come through the gateway, I've left another truck on that map. And I could not see a way of bringing that truck, going back into that truck and getting in that truck to drive that through the gateway, to then use that truck to either drag or winch the stranded truck with very, very little fuel, or refuel it, siphon fuel like we used to be able to do in Snowrunner. So I'm going to try a little bit of an experiment here and see if this works, to see if this solves the problem. It's still going to make things tricky, but it's going to give us an answer. So I'm going to take through this one, because I need to have that one anyway, because it's a requirement, because it's got the seismic vibrator on. I'm just going to give that a jack screw anchors. I can't give it any fuel, so the fuel is what it's got down here, because I can't fit any more attachments on the truck without having the seismic vibrator on. Can't put any side panels or anything on to fill with fuel, so it's literally got the fuel it's got. So that's one. And then I'm going to bring the Tuz, and we'll give this again jack screw anchors, and we'll give that 2 fuels, and then we'll deploy. Then we'll go back. So then we'll deploy, and you'll see here now, right, that I've only got the choice of south outpost, west outpost, or field operation base, which none of those are on the map that I need to be on to get to the actual job location. So I'm going to spawn at the field operation base here, because from here I drive the trucks, and I've done this already tonight, and I encountered the problem that I had. So I drive the trucks and I go through this here, which is the gateway to Warweep Bay, which isn't any of these, because Warweep Bay hasn't got a camp on, or an outpost, should I say, not a camp, an outpost, let's call them what they are. I haven't got an outpost on Warwick Bay, so I travelled through this gateway to go to Warwick Bay, but I drove one truck through. You drive into Yellow Square in a similar fashion to you do with Snowrunner, and once you're parked up in the Yellow Square, you press the square button to travel to the other region, in this case Warwick Bay. I did that with the one truck. Once I spawned in that new area, that Warwick Bay, and I drove around trying to find the best route to get to my actual location, I realised that, hang on, I've hardly got any fuel left. But don't worry, let's warp back to the other truck that I've left in this area, because I left my second truck down here, and drive that through here and join up. Couldn't do it. Couldn't find any way of doing it. So I'm going to try and experiment. So I'm going to get both trucks at the field operation base, both of them. There. Once they're both there, now you can see them both there. Two out of 4 vehicles, both spawning at the field operation base. It's going to start the expedition. And I'm going to drive this one down first. Hopefully without getting stuck on the way, because I've done this earlier on today. I'm pretty confident I've got a good understanding of how to get to where I need to get to as quick as possible. I'm not going to bother with any of them yet because they are all side tasks. I'm just going to try and get to the main area, which is explore the area in Warwick Bay and conduct a seismic survey. Let's try to do that wrecking my truck. I'm going to go up that bank where the plane is, up and over that hill, to get to the gateway, and then we're going to bring the second truck down. Okay, don't let me down. We did this easy earlier on, this bit. Straight ahead. Well, I've already done that airdrop, so I'm not bothering with that, and I'm sticking to the route that I know. Just to play it safe, he says. Right, so that's one truck parked in that yellow square there, right? And it says press square to travel to Walweek Bay. I'm not going to do that yet, because if I took this truck through on its own, and when I got stuck at the other end, just navigating the terrain and ran out of fuel or got to fumes, I couldn't fathom a way of getting the other truck through. So I'm going to try and experiment. I'm going to bring the other truck down, put both on this square, and then travel and see if it takes both trucks through. If it doesn't, I foresee quite some tricky problems with being able to complete the task, unless there is some way of loading this truck up with loads and loads of fuel so that I can't run out. That is the only other solution. So let's then switch to this, and let's get this down there as quick as we can. Let's see what happens. The question is, when both of them are in that yellow square, do I need to have them winched together, or does it take them both through if they're just both parked in the yellow square? That will be the $1 million question. When I get this truck there, I'm going to try and get them through winched to see what happens when they go through winched together first. We're going to grab that because we'll get money. I'll get money just for making this video and doing this scenario for the sake of this video. The problem stems from the fact that in Walweek Bay, I haven't got an outpost there yet, so I can't spawn vehicles at the outpost. So I have to drive to Walweek Bay, the gateway to Walweek Bay, should I say. I can't travel now. Because I've got these two trucks winched together in the shape of a square. The square button, which is the button you would use to travel through the gateway, is in this game is the push button on the winch. So the only way I can activate the travel through this portal, this gateway should I say, gateway not portal, the gateway, to get to this next region that I need to get to, is to unwinch. And then just press square button, I think. So just press square button, and I bet you only one truck goes through. So let's switch to the... Let's switch that truck anyway, because that's the one I would need. And then let's press the square button and let's see what happens. So Wildwheat Bay, an area streaked with water, spaces, rivers and reservoirs, extremely high elevation changes and difficult terrain, a real test for serious, not to mention moving not on foot. This is part of the Arizona region. So it's part of the Arizona region, but it's a map within the Arizona region. Similar to the way Snowrunner did Michigan, and there was 4 maps. So if I travel through there, does it take both trucks through, or just the one? Moment of truth. So, judging by the fact that it's not silhouetted or transparent, because both trucks are spawned on top of one another, it's only brought my one truck through. So, here lies a problem, right? Because I've got to get over to that yellow marker, which is all the way over there. And this is some real, as it said before I went through the gateway, that message came up saying that this is really tricky terrain and requires experienced drivers or whatever it was saying. It was pre-warning about how tricky this terrain was, basically. And when I did this earlier on, I got this truck and I drove forward trying to fathom a way of getting across to that, and the only way I could work it out is to say, right, maybe then, so I drove to this edge here so I could see. And then I thought, right, I can't get across there, so I'm going to have to go back, go down here, go around this shoreline, and then across there to get into this area to survey it. But at this point here, I started to run low on fuel. So I thought, not to worry, I'll just get in the other truck, which I've left in the previous area. I can't find a way of getting back into that other truck. So when you come through to this area, when you come through the gateway with this truck, you've got to be absolutely bang on the money with regards to the loadout that you've got on this truck to make sure that you've got enough fuel and enough spare parts for any repairs, and hope and pray to God that you don't get into a position that you completely get stuck and tip the thing over and you can't right yourself with a jack screw or a winch, because you can't be rescued by another truck because there's no way of doing it, because Luke. So in this top left hand side, it says I'm in Arizona, Wildwheat Bay. It says this is the only truck that's here. If I come down to outposts, I've got all these outposts, and bearing in mind the one that I was at previously was the field operation base, I've got the only option I've got there is recover. And I thought, well, what's that going to achieve? Because if I press triangle to recover, is it going to undo all the hard work I've just done to get this truck here into the actual region that I need to be to get the job done if I press it? But when you press it anyway, it doesn't do anything. So I'm literally stuck in this zone, in this region, should I say, Wildwheat Bay, with this one truck, with the fuel that I've got, the spare parts that I've got, and the gadgets that I've got to get me out of trouble if I get in trouble in terms of rolling the truck over or getting stuck in a crevice that I've got to try and winch myself out with anchors or to right myself with jack screws. And if I run out of jack screws or run out of anchors, I'm absolutely 100% buggered and I have to return to the main menu and go and run again. In Snowrunner, when you were in the map screen, bottom of the screen there, you would have an option to bring up a global map. You would be able to go to any other region where the other truck was, take control of that truck, and drive that truck to where you are through whatever necessary gateways you needed to drive that truck through to get to where your truck is that is currently stranded. I can't see a way of doing that on this. Now, is that a design flaw, or is that an intentional thing to make us as gamers be absolutely on the money with regards to making sure, bearing in mind it doesn't give you any pre-warning that that's how this is going to play out, but we as gamers have got to be absolutely bang on the money to make sure we take all the necessary equipment through and out into the expedition and into this zone. Because once I'm in this zone or this region, Warwick Bay, with this one truck, that's all I've got to get the job done. And like I say, you run out of fuel, get stuck, got no anchors, got no jack screws. There is literally only one option, and that is return to headquarters, and it scraps the expedition and you go back to square one, and you have to deploy again. I don't know if it's a design flaw, I don't know if it's intentional to make us work harder as gamers, to make us think outside the box, to make sure we're better prepared when we go in, because it's completely different from Snowrunner, where you could literally go to the global map or world map, go to any region, go to the garage, pull out another truck from truck storage, drive the truck to your stranded truck, and perform a rescue operation. There is no way of doing that on this from what I can see. If I'm wrong, drop comments below. By all means, please correct me. I want to be corrected, and if somebody's got the answers, I want to know. Please tell me. I want to know. But this could be, you know, if it's a simple case of somebody puts in a comment down below and says, yeah, it's not designed for, it's the intentional with the game because the game wants you to think and wants you to work harder, so be it. You'll work harder. But as it stands now, because the game didn't pre-warn or explain that very well, other than telling me that this was a tricky area with a lot of elevation and terrain, that's the only warning they got. There was no disclaimer about make sure the truck you take through here is well equipped and got everything that it needs, because you can't bring another truck through, etc. Because unless I discover an outpost on here, unless I drive around and discover an outpost or unlock an outpost on here, which I can't see immediately, but it could be anywhere under these clouded or greyed out areas, possibly, I've got no way of spawning vehicles at an outpost. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I don't know whether it's an intentional design choice to make you work harder as gamers, to make you think outside the box, to make you go in better prepared, because that's the whole point of the game with it being expeditions. So expedition, but make sure you're prepared for the expedition, or whether it's a little bit of a design flaw with not being able to literally travel between different zones via a global world or regional map. Pop the comments in below, by all means, please. I would much appreciate it if somebody has the answers, even if it's not the one I'm looking for. At least I'll have the answer, and I'll be happy as long as I've got the answer and I know that I'm not going insane. Because I've got the potential here now of running into exactly the same problems earlier on. As I'm trying to navigate this terrain to get to anything to get, I could get stuck, I could run out of fuel, and I'm done for. It's literally return to headquarters and we go again. So thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and if you find this video informative. Comments below, please tell me the answer. I don't care what it is as long as I've got one. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell to get notified when I post further content, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone. Much love.